Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stevie and today we're still working on my Forever Island croissant. So exciting, we'll be working on the apple orchard today. And if you haven't watched my other videos, you should definitely go check them out and watch all the other builds that we've done so far. So I'm just showing you here like where we will be building today. So it'll be to the left of the entrance, and I also kind of started the museum area, destroyed the river that was over here, made a little pond, and recreated a new bridge. And this is the far left side of the island, and as you can see, I ran out of storage. So I put everything that I looked for this build just on the beach and in my storage. But I started with some pathing and the fence, and then I laid out the kind of layout for where I want the trees to be. And I'm thinking this back area is going to be the pumpkin patch, and to the right is going to be Ketchup's house. So let's get started. I found all these trees beforehand, thankfully, and I'm just going to start by sticking them in all of these spots that I already dug up. And of course that would happen because I didn't have my shovel attached, which is so annoying. So let me fix that. Now we can actually do all the trees. So this is so cute, honestly, how it turned out. I love this. The trees are just so adorable. Anyway, yeah, we are just going to grab a bunch of items. I have to go through all of them, which I will not make you sit through. And I'm just going to pick up the ones that I think I'll need. And we're going to start with the entrance of the orchard. And I found this really cute like plaid pattern for one of my other builds. And it came with fringe for the like, if it was a blanket. So I'm going to use it here as a blanket, like a little picnic area outside of the orchard. But I feel like it needs space on either side of the blanket, but there isn't enough space, and I wouldn't really want it that close to the path, but you know, I end up putting it there anyway because I think it looks a little better up against the path. So now I'm just adding the little items that I found for the picnic area. I placed down a little record player that has red accents and this almost red accenty picnic basket. I don't have any music yet for the record player, so I'm gonna have to look some up, see what would work for a little apple orchard. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below what I should play for some fall apple orchard, apple picking music at my orchard. Now I'm just throwing down a red leaf pile because I have a million of them. Every time I go to a treasure island now, I pick them up because I feel like I won't have enough, and they only have like 3 or 4 that you can get each time. And yeah, I just need as many as I can get. But now I'm adding a smoothie. Of course, I have to show it off to you first because I always press that button. But I'm gonna place down the apple smoothie. And I didn't grab any chips or anything like any other little snacks to put down, which I wish I did. However, I think the apple smoothie looks cute. And here I just have a little entrance. I think it's the party light banner, plain party banner or something for the entrance to the orchard itself. And I'm going to be placing counters on either side, this really pretty red brick facing on it. And I have some like bags. Yes, the stacked bags. I'm gonna place these on the side because I'm sure the apple orchard would have bags of something waiting to be put down. Um, and what am I gonna put? The apple jam. Put some apple jam on here because who doesn't want to buy apple jam? An apple orchard. And just a pot because I thought the pot was really cute. It looks like a honey pot or something. And of course, adding my little spooky decorations to this build as well, which for fall after Halloween, we can just turn them around and they'll be fall decorations instead. Okay, and I also picked up these potted starter plants, which are so cute. I'm gonna throw those on top of the stacked bags. And I have a barrel. I also have a million barrels that I need to use up in builds, but I want to place it in this corner right here. Of course, there is no room. because of lovely Animal Crossing. But I'm going to throw this barrel here. I don't know what I'm going to put on it yet, but I have a bunch of things that I can just throw on top. And nothing in here that I would want to throw on top right now. So now I have to go, take a look, see what I got in my never-ending pile of items on my beach. Okay, I have this angled signpost. I'm going to put this here, right at the entrance off the bridge, and hopefully angle it the correct way the first time. Nope. Over to the orchard path, or the apple orchard, but you'll be following the path. Okay, so let's see, what do I have? Oh, I have this little hand cart that I can throw down here if I can find it. Last time, in my last two videos, I feel like every time I was looking for something, I would have it in my inventory and just gloss over it every time. But I promise you today, I did not do that. I saw these stepladders in another build on Pinterest, which is linked below if you guys want to check it out. Just some inspo for these builds. But actually, I did this build with no inspiration. I had inspiration on ideas, not ideas, items, like these stepladders, so like you could climb up and pick some apples, but otherwise, I just kind of went with the layout that I had. But I'm not gonna stick this other, not a storefront. I'm gonna throw the other stepladder in here so you can kind of see it in the trees. Because you can't just only pick the front apples, you need to get to the back. So you can kind of see that in there. It just gives it a little extra something, And I have this little corner over here. I think I'm gonna throw these boxes. You can package up some apples. Maybe they're getting shipped to a store or something. And then I'm just gonna, push them over. Thankfully, it lets me push them over a little bit. You never know with this game. Okay, I have this really cute bunny decoration. I have a few of them, but I don't know. I need something right here that's like around the same height, and I think that looks cute. But yeah, I'm putting down the other counter right here, and I'm gonna throw this analog kitchen scale on top on the right because you need to, weigh the apples, make sure you're getting the right amount when you go apple picking. And I have this box-shaped seat. I'm gonna see how this red bottle crate looks on top. Oh, no, I don't think I like that. Yeah, it looks like it just looks a little funny. So I'm just gonna throw that, I think, right here next to the barrel. And that way, I have 3 spaces I can put things on top of instead of 2. Because now I can use the stool, the bottle crate, and the barrel instead of putting the bottle crate on top of the stool. And I saw this Juicy Apple TV on one of the treasure islands, and I thought it would be really cute if I just like turn it around. It looks like a giant apple in my apple orchard. It does have 3 legs, but it still looks really cute. Okay, what can ooh, I can put the butter churn over here. Maybe it's an apple butter churn, maybe? I know that's not how you make apple butter, but I'm just thinking, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna throw the spooky scarecrow over here, kind of like he is working this area. Like this is his little apple orchard in a way, I don't know. I think he looks cute here. Kind of looks like he's working, but now this space is actually a little empty, so I'm gonna pull him back. And I think that makes a little more sense. And maybe he'll scare away any of the crows that bother my apples. This is looking so cute. Okay, I'm gonna throw down some red leaves if I have one on me. I don't. I do not. Wow. I have so many of them. But I can throw something on top of here. Let's see. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, this is cute. It's like yellowy and orange for fall. I'll put this up here. I actually got this in my mail today when I logged on. And this little glass candy jar, I think those are nuts, that I threw on top of the counter. Grab some firewood for the bottle stool. And now, finally, my red leaf pile. And over here, I'm going to throw a green leaf pile. Just so it's not all red, it's red, green, red. And then I'm just going to finish this front area off with some red mums that I grabbed the other day. Just in some random spots, just to give it a little extra pop of color. I don't like to put a ton of things on the ground because I don't really know how to do that yet. I don't know how to design like that. But I'm kind of doing it, you know, my more open, concept-y ideas, but still filling the areas enough. Right, so we're going to start on these two areas next. This is going to be the pumpkin patch. And down here is going to be Ketchup's house, because this is going to be her little apple orchard. I know tomatoes make more sense for her, but she's red, so she's gonna go with my apple orchard since she's already on my island. But I'm just gonna map out her little walkway and then a path to her house. This is ideally where I wanted her house, however, it looks much better just being one square forward. So that's what we're gonna go with because it looks so cute. And I love that her house is red. I totally forgot that. So it kind of works, you know, with the whole apple orchard and everything. Got her house in. I'm not going to time travel yet. I'm going to do that at the end because I'm not really like giving her a yard. It's more of the apple orchard, which is already done anyway. So I don't need to really decorate around her house. Okay, and now we can do the pumpkin patch, which is going to be so cute. I, again, don't have inspiration, so this is just kind of off the top of my head with the space that I have. Although I have a whole island still, but everything is still kind of on the beaches, so I feel like I'm just going to run out of space, which I probably won't. However, it's a fear of mine, so we're just going to do a small area. So this is just like straight up in the middle of the trees that I'm going for the pumpkin patch. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger than it really needs to be because I want it to be kind of like open and have other things like flowers and maybe some weeds with the pumpkins and then some maybe spooky pumpkin decorations just so it kind of gives it more of a pumpkin patch vibe than just pumpkins, like I'm growing pumpkins in a farming game, if that makes sense. So I went out 3 on either side, so this is 7 wide, I believe. And I'm just kind of going, again, by vibes, seeing how like deep I want it. But I believe I did 4. And these are all of the little dig spots for the pumpkin starts. So you can see they're scattered. And I know I don't have the dark dirt yet, so if I actually purchase that with my Nook Miles, I could not think of the word. When I purchase the dark, you know, dirt with my Nook Miles, I'll probably change this because I don't really care for the light dirt. I think it's actually sand, right? No, it's not the sand. This is the light dirt. Yeah, I'll probably switch it out because I do like the look of the dark dirt better. Oh, it looks so cute. Okay, now we're gonna throw some white mums just kind of randomly in here. They're already grown because I got them a little while ago. That's looking cute. And I have some spooky items. I want to throw something in the middle here, maybe. This tree? Nope. Every time I try to place the tree, it says I don't have enough room. So I don't know how big it is. Maybe it's like 4 by 4 or something, but I thought it was just one square. Oh, cute. Okay, yeah, I'll throw the jack-o'-lantern down right here. You can go right in the middle. Cute. Now we're just gonna fence this in a little bit. I don't know where I want to put the tractor and silo yet, and I don't want to make this seem bigger than it needs to be. Like I don't want to fill in all this area over here. So I'm just trying to figure that out right now by placing, some items. So I have a silo and I have this tractor. Of course, they're both red because that's the little orchard theme that we're doing here today. I think actually this would look cuter behind, kind of sticking out of Ketchup's house. And then I'm gonna throw the silo over to the left, like right over here. So I'm just gonna put the fencing down first and see how it looks, I think. And it does really bother me that the fencing is so far away from the dirt, but it's Animal Crossing. This is how it's gonna look. Okay, I think the silo looks a lot better on this side. It kind of fills in this area too that was just empty. And I also have this storefront that I was gonna make a fake store with, but I don't have all the other components you need. So I'm just gonna use the fake store kind of behind the silo, if that makes sense. I think that looks cute. It gives it a little, like there's something behind the silo. I don't know, just gives it a little something. And I'm just gonna throw this hay bale bed next to it, fill in the space a little. See, it looks cute. It looks like a little shed behind there. And of course, we need a well for our water to water our plants. And no, we don't want to grab it from the ocean because it's too salty. So I'm going to throw my little well right in here. I think it needs to be pulled over a little bit so you can kind of see it through the trees when you go by. And so, it's not just sticking up in the way. And I also have this log bench that I haven't used yet, and I think it would look really cute right here, just filling in the space, not trying to overcrowd anything. This area still kind of bothers me a little bit, but I'm not sure, what to throw in there yet. I do have another spooky tower that I can throw in here. We know the spooky tree is not going to work. However, a tower facing, the correct direction will work. And I think adding this little end cap kind of fence piece just gives it a little like, ooh, the fence is open. Does that make sense? And here I am getting rid of all the barrels that I picked up. I have 2 of them that I'm going to place here, but I definitely need to put something on top that I need to find. I know I have a bunch of little items like this tin bucket that I forgot. And we're done. Let's go take a little walk around the apple orchard that we worked on today. Once you come off the bridge here, we have a picnic area where you can go and have your lunch or have some apples after you picked them. And we have some fresh apple smoothies for you. Up here through the fence, we have some little checkout areas. We have some apple jam you can pick up and some plant starters, as well as an area for you to weigh all of the apples that you picked up and maybe have a little snack of some candied nuts. Going through the party lights, we have a scary little fellow here that apparently runs the place. Oh, sometimes I can't. Anyway, we have some ladders here if you're not of a better height to, reach a very tall tree. And we have the whole orchard and pumpkin patch owner, Ketchup's house. Back here we have the little pumpkin patch with a well and all of our pumpkins still growing in because the season is early. And that's the whole build that we did today. I hope you guys enjoyed the build that we worked on. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time. Bye!